Okay, so hello guys. I'm going to be talking about superposition principle, but like I'm going to be solving an example to talk about it because if I just talk about it, like you will not really understand it until we solve an example. But what is superposition theorem? Superposition theorem is used when we have a network with two or more sources, either voltage or currents. Though this example I'm considering has only voltage sources. Superposition principle is used to find solution to a network like this that has two or more sources. That's what we used to do. Just find solution of this type of network. So this is 48. This is E2. This is the question that we're solving today. We already have these values. This 4, this R3, this 12, this R2, this 24, R1, and this is what 54. Pardon my handwriting, pardon my diagram, pardon everything. I beg. Apparently, it's very hard to write on the screen. Then my handwriting is originally bad anyway. So this is our question. It gives us this here too. That's IT, which is what we're looking for. Anyway, so what we do? Proposition principle. Sure, there are like other methods that we can probably use to find this, but it's proposition principle. The first thing we have to do is that we have to consider it one source at a time. This is the first source that we have in this question, and the second source. They are both voltage sources. Okay, so let's consider E1 first and forget E2. How would I do that? Proposition principle, what we do is when we're considering one, we have to forget the other one. And forgetting means that for voltage source, which this source is a voltage source, we shut it, we close it down. And how do we do that? We just draw a line through here. Push, closed already. But like that's only for voltage sources. So like if it was a current source that was here, let me clean this. Wait, no. Let me clean this, delete, and put a current source like this. If we want to consider this one here now and forget this one, we're going to open circuit it. Okay, that means that this is how we're going to do it when we're solving it. So just open it up like this for current sources. So short circuit, voltage source, open circuit, current source. That's how they say it. Okay, and a way to remember this is VS code. It's good. So voltage source, short circuits, current source, open circuit, VSCO. So VS code. Okay. So now, if I've shut this voltage source on this side, which means that I can also clean this off, but I feel less bad. But I can clean it if it's going to be confusing, because like for now it's irrelevant. Okay, so we're considering only this one. And another thing that we have to like grasp the meaning of very well when we're doing this stuff is series and parallel circuits. Okay, and before this phase in our lives, we used to use our eyes to determine series and parallel. Now, like if I just series, so something like that. But now we have to be like more specific to know which ones are in series and parallel, and they have a law, or is it like a principle that we shall help you know. So for series, they only meet in one point. So consider this 24 ohms resistor and this 12 ohms resistor. They only have one point in common, one terminal as they call it in common, where they meet here. They don't meet here because this voltage source is obstructing them. So that's how we know that those ones are in series. But for parallel, they have 2 points in common, like this 12 and this 4 ohms resistor. 1 point, they meet here, follow them, they'll meet here, and 2 points, follow them again, they'll meet here. Okay, that's parallel. So 12 and 4 are in parallel, and 24 and 12 are in series. But what we have to do now is that to be able to solve this network, which is what we call this whole diagram, to be able to solve this network in a very simple way, we have to join all the resistors together. So we can use that equation, that V equals to IR equation. But that's like the most basic equation for network analysis. Sha. So these two are in parallel. What's the formula for networks in resistors in parallel? R1 times R2 over R1 plus R2. But let me write it down for anyone who does not know it. So this is it. But that's going to be 12 times 4 over 12 plus 4. That's 48 over 16. That should be, is it 3? Let me see. Yes, 3. So 3 ohms, which means that total of this one is 3 ohms. But I could withdraw it, but that's very stressful, so just keep that in mind. Then we now have only these 3 ohms and this 24 ohms left. Then we'll add it together, and like I'll later withdraw this thing. That means that our final, let me just write it down here, which means after we get that 3 ohms, this is what our circuit will look like. Something like this. But with this being the 3 ohms that we just got, and this being that 24 that was there before. And this are in series. Remember, again, why? Because they only have 1 point common. Okay, they don't have this in common because this voltage obstructs it. But so they only have 1 point common. And for series resistor, we add it together. So total resistance here is going to be 24 plus 3. So let me write that down. And permit me to erase that actually. So it's going to be 24 plus 3, that's 27. So in this our final circuit there is now going to look like this here. Just very small, I beg in this space. It's going to be 27. So V equals to IR for this is going to be, we have R, we have V. R being the 27 that we just got, V being the 54 that was here, and I being what we're looking for. Okay, so I is V over R if you are proposing this equation. So V over R is going to be equal to what? V over R is equal to that 54 that we have over 27, that's our R, and 54 over 27 is going to give us, let's say, 2. So our current is 2 amperes. Current here is 2 amperes. Again, pardon the handwriting. Okay, now the question asks us to find I3. That's like this current flowing through this 4 ohms resistor. Okay, and to find that, we have to divide this 2 that we found for this 27 back into current for 12, then back into current for 4 to get it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off all of this that's obstructing the screen, and 2 amperes bar. I'm going to write down. I'm going to write that down here, where it's 2 amperes for that 27. So remember, this is the diagram again. Let me just do that so we'll not forget. This is how we looked like when we had 27. Okay, so 27, before we had 27, we had 24 and 3, and this 24 and 3, they were in series bar. And currents, we want to divide these 2 amperes between the two of them now, before we now divide that 3 again into 12 and 4. Okay, so current in series is the same currents that will flow through this 24 will be the same thing that will flow through this 3 ohms resistor if the circuit was still like this. Okay, so this 24 and this 3, and they still have these 2 amperes flowing through it. Okay, now when we have the problem now is, if we want to divide this 3 here into the 12 and 4 that was here before, because these 2 are in parallel, remember that, and current in parallel divides. Okay, that's when we use current divider rule. That is the, was 4 is I3, Abby. Okay, so current through 4 is going to be, let me remove the nonsense obstructing the screen first before I do that. Okay, so we're looking for current in 4. Remember this that's current in I3, so I3 is going to be equal to, current variable is I3 equals to all this F. I use this VS code also to remember the current and the voltage variables because they're very similar, but like they have a very slight difference in being that the subscripts are different. So VS voltage for voltage variable, subscripts are the same, and the current variable, this D means the subscripts are different. So I3 is going to be equals to R2, yes, and total I over R1 plus R2. That's what I meant by subscripts are different. Like in voltage now, this would have been R3, then V and blah 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 blah. Sure. So this is I2 is this, this R2, so I2 is going to be current flowing through this 12. R2 is going to be, this is just R2 12. So 12 times the 2 ampere that we're dividing between them, that's 2 over the 12 plus 4. That's 48 over 16. That should give us 48 over 16 is 3. Okay. Am I right? No, it's 24. Sorry for that. 12 times 2 is 24. So 24 over 16 is 1.5. Okay. So let me clean this. 1.5 amperes is the first current that we found going through I3, which means that I can also clean this remaining stuff. So I'll put the values later. Let me just. So the first one we considered this one bar and we forgot this one. That's why we shut it down. But here we'll consider this one and forget this one, which means this is what we'll shut down. Okay. So let me do that by erasing this whole thing. Yeah, I'm just shutting it down from the beginning, so I'll not stress myself at the end. Yeah, shut it down. Okay. So let's see. This is R1 is 24, R2 is 12 ohms, and R3 is 4 ohms, which is, remember, we're looking for I3 overall. Okay. 48 volts. We'll do the exact same thing that we did in the first calculation. That's what we're going to do here too. So remember again, this and this are in parallel. Why? They meet here and they meet here, 2 points. So parallel, let's start in parallel. Calculation is 24 times 12 over 24 plus 12, which means their product over their sum. That's going to be, press it in calculator. 24 times 12, that's 288, divided by 24 plus 12, that's 36. That's going to be 8. Okay. So if I withdraw this, I'm going to get something like this. Push. 8 here, 4 here, and this like this. I'll now add this 8 and 4 again together like we did the first time, but they're in series now because again they only meet at this 1 point. They don't meet here. Remember that. So add this in series, we just add them normally. So 8 plus 5 is going to be equal to 12. So if I want to withdraw this one now, I'm just clean the whole thing. Yes, it will be like this. Was it 8 plus 5 got here? That's 12, baby. So I'll just put 12 here and 48. Same thing we did here. V equals to IR, I equals to V over R. We have our V as 48 and our R as 12. That's going to be 4. Okay, because 48 over 12 is 4. But then we now got the current flowing to here as 4. The first time we did it, we had to break it down from here to get the current flowing through the 4 ohms resistor. But this time, current flowing through this 12 ohm resistor is 4. And if you break it down to, remember that we're looking for I3, and this was originally I3, but we have to break it down to get like only this 4 ohms resistor. And if you break it down, because they are series now, and in series, remember that current is the same. So breaking it down to, was it 8 and 4 or something? I think it was 8 and 4. Yeah. I hope it was 8 and 4. Yeah, it was 8 and 4. So if we put it back to 8 and 4, that means that I'm going to, where is it? I'm going to withdraw this as 4 and put this as 8. Then we cannot divide this to get this one, but that's like very, very unnecessary because we already have current flowing through here. Current in series is the same. We got 4 ampere flowing through it, which means that current, when we divide it to 8 and 4, it's still going to be the same thing flowing through this form resistor. It's still going to be 4 amperes, okay? But the direction is going to be very, very different. Why? For this 4 amperes, we're considering this source, okay? Current is coming like this, it's going like this. If it gets here, it will not go here. Everything will go here. Would it? It will come here. It will come here. Then from here, it will not go like this. So this 4 is the one that's going to the right side. Add this one here and see where I made a mistake. Okay. 54. This was very rough video explanation, so if you guys need me to do it again, like, no problem. Maybe no problem, sure. There might be problem. So remember that the first time, like, now we're sure that is that 4 that is going to the right, but we're not sure that this 1.5 is going to the right. Okay, so let's consider it again. I'll remove this one because that's what we did the first time, but we removed this 48 volts and we short this part to get the direction and the solution for this place here. So to get the solution for here now, this is going up because this is negative, this positive terminal. We know that one. If we don't, voltage is going from here to here and is increasing. Okay, so it's moving from the earth upward and it's coming like this. And instead of going down, okay, like the whole current in this network is going to go here. Why? Because there's a resistance here, and resistance reduces the flow of current. But there's no resistor here, so there's no resistance. So like, if it was you, would you go to where they don't want you? I'll be where they welcome you with open hands and everything. So everything, the current shall come here, down here. That's why it will not come like this. That's why it's going to the left, sorry. So I'll change this 1.5. Direction is actually to the left. That was the mistake I made. Making a no vex. I beg, we all make mistakes. So to not get the final I3, because remember that these 2 I3s that we just got, they were like from when we considered one current source, one voltage source at a time. Okay, so to get the final one would now be that 4 that we had. Let me put it back, I erased it by mistake. Going here, it's going to the right, so it's positive. Minus 1.5 that was going to the left, that's negative. So our final answer is going to be 2.5 amperes. God, I beg. This was very stressful. And like, I know it seems long because of the explanation, because of the mistakes I made and blah 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 blah. But when you get used to it, when you know it's not going to be this long, this unnecessarily long, honestly. So that's it. I hope you guys understood. I hope I wasn't just saying rubbish to myself, since I beg. If there's a point that you guys need me to explain again, just tell me. So I'll do that. Please tell me you understood, I beg, before I go on to make videos for Thevenin and Norton. Bye.